You've probably heard people talking about stock options, right? It gets thrown around on the news, maybe you have a friend who trades them, and let's be honest, they can sound super complex, maybe even a little intimidating. So what are they, really? Well, today we're going to cut through all that noise and give you a really clear, simple breakdown of one of finance's most powerful and maybe most misunderstood tools.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start at square one, what an option actually is. Then we'll dive into the two main types, talk about how they get their price, look at the two sides of every trade, the buyers and the sellers, and we'll wrap up with what is absolutely the most critical piece of the puzzle, understanding the risks.
So first things first, what is this thing? You know, the easiest way I've found to think about a stock option is to imagine it's kind of like a coupon for a stock. Yeah, a coupon. It gives you a special deal, a right to buy or sell something at a fixed price for a limited time. But here's the magic part. You don't have to use it.
Let's look at the official definition, because these words are chosen very carefully. It's the right, but not the obligation. That phrase is everything. It means you have the choice, you have the power, but you are not forced into anything. At a fixed price, we call that the strike price, and it's totally locked in, and on or before a specific date. That's the expiration. After that date, poof, your coupon is worthless.
Okay, so every single option in the universe comes in one of two basic flavors. They're total opposites, and they're designed for two completely different views on where you think a stock is headed.
First up is the call option. The name is a pretty good hint. It gives you the right to call the stock over to you, in other words, to buy it. You'd grab a call option if you're feeling bullish, if you think that stock's price is about to go up.
And on the flip side, you've got the put option. This gives you the right to put the stock onto someone else, to sell it at that locked-in price. You'd buy a put if you're feeling bearish, meaning you think the stock's price is going down.
So let's just nail this down. It's really that simple. Calls give you the right to buy because you think the price is going up. Puts give you the right to sell because you think the price is going down. That's the whole directional bet in a nutshell.
Okay, so if an option gives you all these cool rights, it's got to have a price, right? It can't be free. So what does it cost? And where does that number even come from?
That cost has a special name. It's called the premium. This is the non-refundable price you pay upfront for all the rights that option gives you. Think of it like buying a ticket to a concert. Once you buy the ticket, that money's gone, whether you actually go to the show or not.
And this premium isn't just a random number, a bunch of things affected. But a huge one, and you really have to get this, is time. An option is what we call a wasting asset. You can think of it like a melting ice cube. All other things being equal, as the clock ticks down toward that expiration date, its value just decays, shrinking a little bit every single day.
Now, for any trade to happen, you need two people, a buyer and a seller. But in the world of options, this is a massive distinction. It's not just a simple swap of cash for a good. It's a transfer of rights on one side and taking on a serious obligation on the other.
This is the key dynamic right here. The option holder, that's the buyer, pays that premium and they get all the power, all the choices, all the rights. The option writer, that's the seller, gets to collect that premium, which is nice, but in exchange, they take on a binding obligation. If the buyer decides to use their right, the writer has to follow through. No choice in the matter.
So what does being a writer or a seller actually look like? Well, one of the most common strategies, especially for people who want to generate a little extra income from stocks they already own and plan to keep, is the covered call. Here's how it works. Say you own at least 100 shares of a stock. You can then sell one call option against those shares. The moment you do, you collect that premium from the buyer. It's called covered for a simple reason. If the buyer exercises their option to buy the stock, you're covered. You already own the shares to give them. Okay, we've gone through the mechanics. Now we're at what is, and I am not exaggerating, the most important part of this entire conversation, understanding the risks. This is the big, flashing warning label you absolutely cannot skip over.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The official documents that every broker has to give you spell it out in no uncertain terms. Listen to this direct quote. The writer of an uncovered call is in an extremely risky position and may incur large losses. They use language that strong for a very good reason.
Let's start with the risks for the option buyer. So, the good news is your maximum loss is capped at whatever premium you paid. The bad news? That means you can lose 100% of your investment. And remember that melting ice cube? Time is always working against you. To make money, you have to be right about not just which way the stock will move, but also when. You could be totally right about the stock going up, but if it happens one day after your option expires, it's too late. You still lose everything.
Now, for the sellers, the risks are different, and in some cases, way, way bigger. Remember our friend the covered call writer? Their main risk is missing out. If the stock they own suddenly skyrockets, they have to sell it at the lower agreed-upon price. But an uncovered call writer, that's someone who sells a call without even owning the stock, whoa, their risk is theoretically unlimited. If the stock price just keeps climbing and climbing, their losses can just keep getting bigger and bigger with absolutely no ceiling. It's one of the riskiest things you can do in finance, period.
So, there you have it. We've walked through the what, the how, and the who of stock options. They are without a doubt incredibly powerful and flexible tools, but that power comes with equally powerful and sometimes devastating risks. This explainer gave you the foundation, the building blocks. But the real question isn't just, do I understand how options work? It's, am I truly, genuinely prepared for the risks? And that is a question you need to be able to answer with 100% confidence before you even think about taking the next step.
Knowledge is one of the best investments you can make, and continuous learning keeps you sharp. Subscribe to @OTS Ullu on YouTube.